Are we on recording now?
We are.
Yeah, all right. Hello, we are here on the 4/28/2025 Clackamas County Developmental Disability Council meeting. We are here to call to order and have we established a quorum.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Six.
Sounds like we
Yes.
got one.
We're missing.
He just messaged and said he'll be about 10 minutes late. There's some traffic, I guess.
So anyhow, sounds like we're on quorum, and now to approval of minutes for February and March. I'm going to spend a little bit of gap time to see if there's any objection as presented of the February minutes and March 2025 minutes. Okay. I hear no objection. Sounds like they have been approved as presented. Right.
Anne should be joining in pretty shortly. She didn't have the meeting link.
Great.
She knows she wasn't on the email.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, as I'm looking at the agenda,
I have the agenda on my phone, just so it's not.
I'm trying to figure out what the next topic is, Amy, and it sounds like maybe an update or a conversation of in-home hour readjustment. Or is that a reminder to give to the public? That there has been no changes.
Maybe that was no change to a previous conversation. I'm not sure. Maybe just to say that there's no update from our previous conversation. Hi, Anne. Sorry about that. I'll double check and make sure you have the link next time.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that must just be just an update to say there is no further update.
Okay, that's what my perception would be also, but any conversation on that portion of the agenda? Okay. Are we gonna have, your other person with us today?
Kim's on vacation. Yeah.
All right. Is there anything, a question that our in-home hours may or may not be changed? But there's just no questions for today?
Yeah, I think that was. I actually don't think that's supposed to be on there. Quite honestly, I think that was just
All
left
right.
over from last time.
We approved it in the agenda and just getting through it. Any update as we go through technical stuff on the video update and meeting date discussions?
Yeah, so the February meeting, as you guys know, we had like a weird snafu with the recording where the voice part didn't translate properly when I downloaded it. I worked with our tech services and they are not able to recover it. They tried a whole bunch of different things. So as you hopefully saw on the meeting minutes for February, we just put like some information on the bottom that says there was an error with the recording. Now we have a couple different ways that we're trying to record things just in case we have that error again. So that's the update in that. The update is there's no recovering that file. The other piece that we need to talk about is May's meeting. It falls on Memorial Day, which I don't think any of us will be here at the council meeting. So would we like to push that out to June 2nd? Would we like to, I don't know if we can do it a week earlier. What are your guys' thoughts on how we reschedule that? And we probably need to, oh, sorry, go ahead.
The week earlier works fine for me. I don't know. I mean, that way it's still within that month.
Do I hear for a call?
It looks like there might be Kim and Stacy may be late or unavailable for that meeting, but if they're okay, we can.
The 19th, is what we're looking at. 4:30 would be the earliest.
Yeah.
it might take us a little bit to transition from another meeting.
Should we try for June 2nd?
Does anybody?
I'm good for June 2nd.
Okay. Anybody have any like kids getting out of school right around there
Yeah,
that
that's a good
might
point.
pose a problem? No? Okay. That's good.
June 2nd's better for me, for sure.
Okay. It works for me too.
I'm good either way.
So it sounds like,
I'm flying that day, but I don't have it down what time I'm flying, so I'm not sure. But either day, I'm gonna probably have a challenge.
Yeah.
okay.
Good.
But I think we're back by 4:30.
You never know with flights.
So do you want to vote on it?
So does that call for action for a vote, or anyone want a first, second?
So that would be 2 meetings in June. And then moving forward, we might want to talk about if we want to have a standing time for the rescheduling, because it's always going to fall on Memorial Day.
Does it have to be on a Monday?
No? Not necessarily.
So the question to the council or whatnot would be, would you rather have 2 meetings in May for the future Memorial Day, or 2 in June as they move forward through this?
Or push it on to a different day, not a Monday?
Or we can move it to July, but I don't want to speak on behalf of my members. Any thoughts out there?
I like
July
what
works
Sarah
for me.
said. I like what Sarah said, maybe a different night, Tuesday night or whatever, just whatever works for everybody.
I don't want June to be too overwhelming with 2 meetings.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Lisa doesn't have preference in the comments.
So maybe make it to May 27th?
I mean,
I won't be available on May 27th, but
Sounded like June 2nd might actually work for most people, so maybe we
Call for
do that
action.
this year and try and plan ahead a little bit better next year.
Okay.
sure.
and there's 5 Mondays in June, so it still spaces them out.
Yeah.
I think.
Sure.
Okay.
So someone want to call for a vote?
Sorry, one question. We're supposed to be voting in May. Is that going to mess us up at all if we push it to June? Or are we still going to be in compliance and be just fine?
That's a good
I
question.
think it's fine to vote. Yeah, I don't think there's any.
So
June 2nd.
we need a vote on the floor. June 2nd? Sorry. Glad to see you.
Yeah, June 2nd.
So are you asking for a motion for a vote? Okay, someone want to second that? For June 2nd, 2025? Awesome.
I'll second.
We had our conversation, unless you would like to update this person, no?
I trust you guys.
All right. You're very, very blessed with those resources. So it sounds like that. We're going to call for a vote. Those who say aye, or hands up.
Raise their hand. Looks like.
Yeah. Yep. Everyone votes to move it to the 2nd. Okay.
And then those are nay, which is none, maybe, and abstain. The motion passes that we will have a meeting on June 2nd, 2025. Thank you very much.
So I will move on to the next one. Tracy Garrell, our new social services director, who's actually here with us today, will be joining us in June to share the equity toolkit. Tracy, do you want to say hello?
Just say hello. Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here. I'm going to try to attend. I'm learning. I've been in my role for about 3 months, and I'm learning a lot from the staff, but really want to learn a lot from this council as well. So I'm just going to be listening and learning. And then, in June, I will share with you the equity toolkit that was put together by the Health, Housing, and Human Services Department, a work group that's been working on it for quite a while. So I think, yeah, I'm happy to share that. But thanks for allowing me to be here and be kind of a guest at your meeting. So thank you.
Absolutely. Would you like some free questions now, or would you rather wait till June and wait that you see how we do this type of setting?
You know, it's really up to you. I know I'm not technically on the agenda for today. I just, I just had said, oh, invite me so I can kind of start, attending periodically. So I'd rather not take your agenda time today, but if there's time and people want to ask questions, I'm always open to it as well.
All right, we can probably give questions to Amy in ways that they can be passed along.
Yeah, maybe we can, if people have questions, knowing that Tracy is going to be here for June to share the equity toolkit that H3S has created. It's a really awesome tool. But maybe if you all have some questions that you can think of before June's meeting, just send them to me and Malika. It'd be great.
Yeah, and I'm okay with spontaneous questions as well in June if something comes up, or I may not have the answers, but I will definitely get back to you if I don't have.
Absolutely. Thank you for your expertise. Good luck on the position. And
Thank you.
I do want to apologize to council members and maybe yourself that I am going through a little bit of issue with a little bit of pain in my left ear. So I apologize, I'm not totally out there, but there is some issues I'm trying to navigate. All right. All right, we get program update.
Okay.
And no Kim today.
Yeah, Kim's on vacation for 2 weeks. Lucky her.
Yeah.
So I just have a couple of updates. First of all, thank you all. I've sent out the opportunity to participate in interview panels. I appreciate those of you who are interested, because it is quite a commitment, I understand. So let's see, we're starting the ONA assessor interviews this week. If you've responded to Kim, if you're interested in the adult in-home, I sent those dates out, and probably by the end of this week or early next, I'll be sending dates to participate, if you're interested in participating in the quality assurance supervisor position that we're gonna be hiring for. So that'll be the next one. If you can't participate, that's okay. There's lots of opportunities, but definitely we'll get that out to you all as we're going through the hiring process. We made a couple new hires recently in our program, and let me see. What day did they start? April 14th, 2 new supervisors started in our children's team. So if any of you knew Austin Robinson, who was in a previous children's case management supervisor position, Nikki Linscott is replacing Austin. Started again on April 14th. We hired an ONA supervisor, Chelsea Curo, who also started on April 14th. Both of those supervisors have full workload, so they're going to be taking a bit to transition into those new roles, but we're definitely happy to have them on board. So lots of hiring still going on around here, and I just want to thank you for your interest, and you don't have to feel obligated, but we'd love to have your input. There will be lots and lots of future opportunities. On the agenda, it looks like the letter, and I think the letter is referring to the the abuse reporting letter. So that letter has been, I don't know where it is, so we're forwarding it on to PGA for feedback. That's Public and Government Affairs for feedback and recommendations on next steps. So that's where it sits, and I'll be following up with Tracy about it. We're hoping to get some guidance from them very soon. There's a bit of, I think, a delay in getting a response to that letter because of the next topic this year is that all of our efforts were really being spent on preparing for a potential strike, which did not occur, thank goodness. But we were right up to the last second preparing for a potential strike here in Clackamas County, and that's everybody working everywhere across the county. That was the focus, and so thankfully that did not occur, and so we'll move forward with following up with PGA about the letter. And the strike caused a lot of stress in our program. That's all I'll say around the strike. Employees were stressed, supervisors were stressed. worrying about what might happen for individuals and families in service. And so that's where we were spending our time, and now we're spending time trying to do some repair work internally around some of that, those activities. Sarah has a question.
And I just have to say, I have not, I just saw this in passing on the news. Something about, I guess it was federal funding that's going away for abuse investigation in group homes. Have you heard anything about that, Stacy?
No, I haven't heard, no. You know,
Okay,
a lot
I'll have to
of,
find it again.
yeah, and share it. Feel free to send it my way if you saw
Yeah,
something.
I will. And it was just, I think it was just
Yeah.
this morning, or it might have been
Oh,
Friday.
yeah,
I'm
I
sure.
didn't
I'll go
see
back
it.
and look for it and see what I can find.
You know,
Okay.
federal, I mean, everything about federal funding is up in the air, and I think when you all see articles, that's when we see them as well. We're not really getting a heads up on things, and so we're just kind of watch. ODDS, when we're in meetings with them, they're saying the same things, like, we don't really know. You get the articles when we get them, and we'll let you know if something happens. So feel free to share.
Okay, I'll look
So
for
I
it.
haven't
I'll
heard
look for it.
anything of that today, as of today, but
Just like the emergency package thing there, where one service thing like brokerages were like 9 months ahead,
Oh.
and the county didn't get that information
Yeah.
9 to 10 months later. It's just trying to figure out how we
Yeah.
can have that communication with you when we do hear things,
Yeah.
like open selection, like we talked about last month, to other implementations within Clackamas County.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
great. I'll look for it.
All right, sounds good, thank you. The other thing on here, it says new commissioner applicants. I wasn't knowing I was giving an update on this, but I think you all know that we have an open commissioner seat. They have narrowed it down, per reading an article myself, to 5 applicants, and that's about all I know. They are seeking public input, but outside of that, I don't have any updates. I doubt Tracy does either, but if she does, she's welcome to share. I read this and was like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to talk about that. I think that's it, unless anybody has a question for me today.
No questions? Okay, yeah. So I will ask a couple on it. On the applications of the quality of it, how are they reaching North Star values in ways of how we navigate through the process of who we hire and the amount of people that may or may not be applying for that position?
For the quality assurance position?
For any of
Oh, for any of our
So the
positions?
quality of people that are being applicants, how are they meeting North Star standards in ways of how we you know, with it?
Well,
is there enough demand of applicants to even have that
And
type of
North
person?
Star standards you're referring to are the state equity North Star standards, right? So we don't follow the state North Star standards. We definitely have our internal H3S and human service policies around also equity, and we have a whole policy on how, you know, recruiting diverse applicants, our applicant.
Do you have enough applicants to make a decision
We
within
have
whatever Clackamas?
I can tell you, for the ONA, we have a lot of applicants for the ONA.
That's all I needed for an update. I know we
Um,
can't say equity
yeah.
in Clackamas County, and I
We
apologize.
can say equity. With an
just-
H3S, we're happy to just keep using the word equity and saying equity. We have had plenty, and even our supervisor positions, I would say, we went through a phase where we really struggled to get applicants maybe a couple of years ago, but all of our application pools we've had lots of applicants, and so.
I'll stand
yeah.
down on another question, thank you.
But we do have policy, and if you're interested in seeing what that policy reads around the interview panels and interviewing and hiring, we can share that.
We're good. I'll stand down on another question
Okay.
about commissioners, but you will.
Yeah, I don't have
We
the
might
answer.
need to go through that to the bylaws, the
Okay.
bylaws conversation.
Okay.
Sarah?
I just had a quick question.
Yeah.
Are the applicants like internal or are they?
Combination. All of our recruitments are run competitively, internal and externally. So, yeah, and they're generally a combination of both, internal and external. Yeah.
Thank you for the update on that.
Now, the 2 supervisors that were hired were internal promotions in the 2 recent supervisor hiring. Yeah.
Any questions on that? I think we're getting through, at least we're getting more forward, you know, with resource guides and other ideas, so I appreciate the updates on that. There you go. right. May elections, and I don't think Lou is on this call. Are they?
I don't see them, but I did send them a text twice today.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Is that me?
that's you.
All right. So we have May elections coming up for chair and co-chair, and I would encourage anybody who wants to apply for those positions to do so. The term ends May 31st, and so we will do votes and I guess sort of like loose application. It's not really an application. You just say that you're interested and let Amy know that you're interested, and then we'll vote.
Yep.
So that's why my only question was, if the term ends May 31st, are we going to somehow? I mean, you know,
I think it's
only a couple days.
I think it'll
but-
be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to vote on it anyway to push it forward by 2 weeks? I'm willing to do it.
I mean,
I don't think it's necessary. We can, but I don't think it's necessary.
On the record, I did make my effort.
yeah, as long as it's not a big deal.
I don't think you and John are going anywhere, right?
No.
Well, I don't know about myself. I thought Leo was going to take, or was going to apply, and then we got people on the floor that would like to maybe take some positions too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the update. If anybody's interested in the chair or co-chair position, please let Amy know, and we'll be voting on that at our next meeting. So give it some good consideration, because we need those positions filled.
Yeah.
So,
And maybe just to, if I could just add that when you say like chair and co-chair, that might sound kind of intimidating, but really I like to think of it more as like facilitator and co-facilitator.
yeah.
So it's really, chair is facilitating and co-chair is helping facilitate or facilitate in the absence of the chair. So
Yeah.
there's one extra meeting a month, and we do that to plan what the agenda is going to be for the next meeting. And with the annual plan that we have, it's pretty well laid out. So it can even be, we have it scheduled for an hour, but it could be half an hour, 20 minutes really. I mean, it doesn't need to be very long. So just to add that in.
For sure, yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Hopefully there will be people on the floor, or what will be the future. Thank you, Sarah, for your update.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little bit out, like I mentioned. I apologize to my members here. Update the previous council meetings. I'm not remembering exactly where we're hitting on that one, but had it due maybe with that letter thing, or?
I think it was
just
needed.
if needed,
Yeah.
and there really isn't anything needed, so.
Oh, yeah, all right. Well, we got the fun one coming up. I hear we're playing a softball game versus the firefighters and police officers. I'm joking. But
I saw that on a show.
I was like, wait a
I
minute.
think that sounds like a show that I watched.
yeah. All right, no, for them, we're talking about the 2025 resource fair for Clackamas County. Amy.
Yeah. So good one, John. You almost got me there.
I'm trying.
I was like, wait a second, I didn't plan that. Okay, so we're looking pretty good for the resource fair. I was just pulling up the information. We have about 43 community partners. Now that's including us at Clackamas County and you all, the advisory council, having a table at the fair. So just a little reminder that we do have a table at the fair. So that's pretty decent. It's a little bit more than last year. I'm still waiting for a couple of confirmations from folks. The official invites will go out in the next couple of days. We have a group of people that have come together to kind of help party plan is what I'm calling it, because that's kind of what it is. But anyway, we decided 6 weeks, 3 weeks, and then a week before we'll be sending out mass communication about the fair. We're getting out the flyers to the local libraries on Thursday. So things are well in progress. Do you all have any questions?
What's attendance like there in the past?
Well, the past is one. We had one fair.
Okay.
We've had one fair. Last year was our first
we
year.
are building
The
history.
in the making.
We are building
There
it,
you go.
yes.
Okay.
History in the
Cool.
making,
Cool.
yes.
Yes, we are.
One thing we didn't iron out well last year was how to count heads.
Okay.
We tried one thing and then threw away half of the tickets. So anyway, we think though that we had a pretty good turnout. We had about 200 to 300 people, we think. is how many people came to the fair last year. So we have a lot of returning community partners, which is awesome. We have a lot of new community partners, and I'm still getting emails probably weekly to check in about, if people want to host a table and things like that. So very exciting, and I hope it'll be we'll have a good turnout. So when I send the final invite, feel free to share with all of your people and get the word out there that we're doing it. So very exciting.
I don't want to get too much off. Oh, please, good.
I have a quick question. So the invite that you're sending out, is that for people to attend or people to be to have a table?
So
or
I've
do
already
you still have any?
It's the invite for people to just attend. So
Okay.
we have been working for actually several weeks now on getting people to host tables, and so we're not totally full yet. If you all know,
I do have somebody that would like to.
Yeah, I still have a few spots open, and I'm still actually waiting for some to confirm. I have a lot of confirmations, and I just sent an email last week asking all of our community partners who had requested a table to just confirm that they are actually intending to host a table.
Okay.
So I think I gave them until the 1st to confirm, and then I'll start doing some more.
Do you want me just to send you the contact info
Sure.
of the person? Okay.
Sure. Or you can send them to me either way, link us in an email or whatever is easiest for you is fine.
Okay.
But I do still have some tables left. So the communications that will go out are for people just to attend.
Okay.
Awesome.
I have a quick question. When you distribute those, it goes to brokerages and all of the community support
Yes.
companies and things like that? Because I remember last year, some individuals that I know were like, I'm broke, do my brokerage, and nobody shared it, and you were like, we did share it. So I was just wondering.
We share it. So if I have an email address on file for individuals and families, it goes to them. And then we also send it to every provider that we have an email address listed for we have an internal directory that we use. And so it goes to everybody on there. It's a massive list of people. What we don't do is if there are people in brokerage that we don't have emails for, we don't really have a way to email them. So we did ask our brokerages to send out the information regarding the resource fair. I don't know what happens beyond that, but I do know that PGA helps a little bit with the event on Facebook and our event page on our website. We'll be sharing with schools, but however we can get the word out, libraries is another thing that we're doing, and then our eligibility team does a lot of sharing at events that they go to. So just really trying to get the word out starting in a couple of days.
Sorry, my hand's up. Anyone else before me? Okay, I'm doing this as a self-advocate. I was wondering how can we help you guys get beyond to Kona Ice or other sponsorship to even opportunities in college. For example, in ways of, I went to a conference this last week in Central Oregon, and there was someone who was so excited on the history of classic rock. And even though I've been in school 15 years ago on other ends in life and all, it sounded like he was interested in other opportunities. So I would like to put on the record in ways of how we verbalize or how we communicate to go beyond just the Gregory Forum in ways of other opportunities while our time is being taken during the weekend and learn about resources about disabilities, but also showing opportunities outside. For Saban Skills Center, computer-aided drafting to sports marketing. We'll load some baseball tickets later on in Clackamas County gets that stadium and ways of meeting Portland, whatnot, in ways to how we could, reach those relationships and how we communicate that. So hopefully, marketing wise and other opportunities, we can build hope for those with developmental disabilities, even within our community partners outreach and how we continue that conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, certainly if there's anybody that you want to make sure that we reach, let me know. It's a lot of the planning group that has, if you want to join that, there's a lot of people in there suggesting who we reach out to make sure that they either are hosting a table or that we make sure that they're on the invite list. So a lot of the relying that we do is on people that are helping plan.
And as chair, Okay, sorry, I'm just checking this question. As chair, committee members here, or council members have been invited to the planning process, right?
Yep.
Yep, we're good. Thank you.
With that, you guys, if I'm okay to move along, I'll just say if you have anybody that you want to make sure that I specifically reach regarding hosting a table or just to send an invite to, just email me and let me know, and I'll make sure I get it out there.
Are you still going with your update?
Yeah. Yes. And one more thing.
I'll wait till the end.
Okay. The volunteer appreciation event. So just learned about that. That are, I think, is it PGA? I can't remember exactly who, but social services is wanting to. Tracy, maybe you know better. Wanting to recognize our volunteers.
Yeah, it's our social services division, recognizing all of our volunteers across all of our programs, including all of the members of our advisory councils.
Thanks, Tracy.
So,
Chair-wise, Tracy, would the commissioners be available at that time to also, celebrate our volunteers within the county?
that's a great question. I don't know, but I love that idea. So I will, I'll pass that suggestion along. I think it'd be fantastic. I know they have come or been invited in the past. So,
Or even staffers?
Yeah, great. Thank you for that reminder, though. I will definitely make that request. I think that would be wonderful.
No problem. Thank you very much. Any other questions on this volunteer appreciation for the county?
So I will say you hopefully got my email. I think many of you responded. I'm still waiting on a few of you to confirm your mailing address because they want to send out invites. So if you could get that to me ASAP, that would be lovely.
In person. Being older and younger, this will be an in-person and volunteer.
In person, yes.
Okay. Well,
So I just had a question, or more of a statement, about the resource fair. So last year, the council participated in it, and so I just wanted to kind of say to the council members, we're gonna need volunteers to, sit at the table, and last year we kind of broke it up into hour sections, and so just be thinking kind of ahead what your availability is, as we get a little bit closer, maybe next month's meeting, because it's coming up really soon.
Yeah.
We'll be asking council members to sit, for an hour or two, or all day. I mean, it's whatever your availability is. It's a really neat event, so I would really recommend coming and sitting and sharing what the council does with the community. But we'll be asking the date again.
It is the 21st,
Of
June 21st. It's a Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and it's here at the Clackamas Community College in the Gregory Forum.
and for the public?
I have a question.
Oh, please.
So I'm actually, my nonprofit has a table so I can see if I can get somebody to cover our table so that I could come over to the council's table.
Okay.
If we do it in an hour increment, I could probably make that happen.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
We know what happened. All right, yeah, unfortunately for the public, I'm busy those week, and so I'm going to be unable to come on my own. In ways, I'm trying to build other movements within certain concepts that may or may not be able to express today. So I appreciate Amy's hard due diligent work to remind me of my youth in ways of trying to expand the concepts. And I appreciate us trying to keep on growing those types of formats as we go forward for those with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Thank you. Okay. Any other questions on the fair? Next one, do we want a 5-minute break or do we want to go straight to bylaws?
The main event.
Yeah, it's the main event. Definitely.
All right. Like I said to the public before, dealing with self-advocates, it took many, many, many hours. And the reason why it's important to someone like myself outside of the chair position is because we need to put language that's beyond 2005 to 2015. And I'm hoping that we can have a fruitful conversation of votes in ways that we can grow that language in the future, and we'll see what Clackamas County can do, as I'm not just the only member in this council. Any other comments before we dig in? Okay.
Let's see if I can pull these up, actually.
Oh, yeah, chair.
Yeah. Do you guys want to go ahead and start the conversation while I try and pull these up?
I will need to post sentence since I don't have it in front of me. And I don't have it on my,
Oh. Do you want me to come share?
yeah, why not? Just since always is needed.
These are not-
So I believe we worked on the first paragraph or so, if I remember right.
Yeah. Past
I
section
think
B.
feedback has been provided, right, all over the document.
Okay. Fortunately, I can't decipher what
Yeah.
feedback and what the reality of
No.
the document language is,
Yeah.
and that's on me. We don't really have that many resource associations helping us in these type of things. All right, thank you. So what are we supposed to do? Go start by line, or do you want to go feedback to feedback?
Do we want to just read it up until where it was approved
Yeah.
and then go line by line for after that?
So
'Cause we
Article
did-
1 and Article 2 was approved, all right?
I have a question.
Up until past B,
Past B.
yeah, is what I have.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Can we
Article
share
2B.
it?
Yep, I'm
Yeah,
working on it.
Amy's
Give me just a
working on
second.
sharing
Thank you.
it
Oh,
right
sorry,
now.
sorry.
I'm trying really hard, Lisa.
That's okay.
I am. I'm trying to
I was
give
trying
you
to
guys
split
the
my
information
screen.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to split my screen and I'm like, I can't even figure that out right now.
There we
We're
go.
good. We're
There's
good.
Okay.
one in the chat, too.
There's what?
Somebody's put something in the chat, I saw.
Okay.
Are you okay with it up there, or do you want to be able to
You can
scroll
move
through
on
it?
it if I can see
Okay.
it. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No,
But
you're okay.
I will
You're
need to know what's been approved and what has not in a way the notes, in ways to know what's final and what's not final as we continue. Because I can call for votes, but I also know that it may not come out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought we had a red part that was.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Would there be a,
Well,
this is what the 5 minutes will give.
as I say, Article 2C is where we need to begin.
Okay.
Okay, that's
We
helpful.
approved through B.
Okay, so Article 2.
Yep.
So
Okay,
through
cool.
here, so we're starting it here.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, right here. I see.
Yeah, cool. Program manager. Do we want DD program managers? Do we want county program manager?
Well, you're advising the DD program.
Well, we're supposed to have other people in this room too. In other manager roles, if I remember some of it, at least when I was applying.
So in Part A, it says recommend program goals and objectives to the Director of Health, Housing, and Human Services, so that's H3S, the Director of Social Services, DD Program Managers, and the Board of County Commissioners. So I think we're at to participate in the selection process of the DD Program Managers.
Which we just touched on.
Yes,
already.
I like C.
Yes.
2C.
Yep.
Okay. Participate.
I'm fine with the outreach community
Yeah.
events as possible. And that can also reach out, like I said, past just DD.
So in E, my question was the OAR 411-320-00308C.
Mm-hmm.
I was maybe looking wrong, but I didn't find an 8C.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons they needed to be updated. I was actually going to look and see if I could find the rule. What is it? 411-320.
Yeah, because I had it on here.
It is in the OARs, but I don't know if it's in that specific spot.
Yeah, there is, it must not be, because there isn't a C at all under section 8. So I thought that was interesting.
Let's see.
And it's under quality assurance, right? The topic.
I believe so.
It's, oh,
Maybe not.
it says organization and program management, under the main number,
Did you find the?
and then
To
8.
participate in quality, we're looking at E, right? To participate in quality assurance reviews when feasible to make recommendations for improvement. Assist with the development review of local quality assurance activities. Our quality assurance activities are outlined in 411-320-0045.
Oh man, can you say that again?
411-320-0045 are our program's quality assurance actually responsibilities.
Okay. So then we'll need to update that.
We need to update that and know what it is.
Yeah.
But the 320.
Does it say advisory council?
No, the three, no, it doesn't.
Because there is one that says
There is
shall
one.
have an advisory council.
Yes, there is.
Mhm.
I think it's maybe program responsibilities. Let me see.
Advisory committee. Is
Okay. Did
Do
we
you guys
find
want to
it?
move to the next one while we're looking?
Yeah, we could do that.
Could you- Consistent with Oregon statutes, that's
Would
fine.
would it be helpful to the council if I read the sentence and then we yay or nay or had comments? Would that be
I can.
helpful? So we're all on the same page? Yeah?
Okay, found.
Okay, so then while they're looking, we'll move to F. So the DD Council will perform other functions consistent with current Oregon statutes that define the required functions of the Community Developmental Disabilities Program. Yes, John?
Does that include county statutes? And have they been
320,
updated?
And then it's
I also had a question on what other functions consisted of.
Yeah.
Does anybody else on the council have any idea? No? And
Yeah,
it's
11.
easy not to ask another question on top of the
Will
question.
perform functions consistent with current Oregon state statutes.
Has there needed any update for the last 25 years in ways of the function that was done by the state, but now county has some other
Oh.
ideal? A question.
There's been lots of updates in the last 25 years.
And that's why-
What they would be, I don't know.
That's why it's important that the council has an input within those functions.
Well, this says they will perform other functions consistent with Oregon statutes that define required functions of the CDDP.
Okay, for example,
So-
ODES services and not ODES,
Yeah.
boys or ODHS. Is there
Yeah.
any other departments that we should know about within the county in ways of how we do those functions and how the council should put its input?
I don't know.
I sort of just assumed that was if something became a new expectation, we would take care of it before we had a chance to figure out what we were going to do.
Kind of just like a general stamp on anything.
That's what I thought. It was just like, yeah, here's a new thing, and then we'd figure out what to do about it.
In a way, it almost gives the council leeway to kind of pop in on any function.
It does.
I guess, in a
I
way,
understand.
like, or
I don't-
advise on
I
or
don't know
request.
what it means.
I have no idea what that means. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that human services, health and housing, other ideas are within our preview scope within those functions. That's why.
That one, I did find so it's actually 411, 320, 30, and it's number 11.
Yeah.
For E,
For E. We should probably consider leaving at least just updating the Oregon administrative rule in there.
Yeah.
And then I think what F is trying to say is that it's going to assist in all the ways that are applicable with the rule above, is how I'm reading it.
Alright.
Because that really outlines,
It'll be a big help to know if
Mhm.
that
What's the
411
phone number on
whatnot
that?
has other new language.
it's OAR 411-320-0030, and then in parentheses 11.
11. Okay.
Sorry for talking out loud, out of turn. It would be helpful to know with the OAR numbers if anything has changed on the language for F.
Yeah.
And I would like a update on that
I
as
see.
we move forward.
So maybe on number F, just an idea, you could say something to the effect of the DD Council will perform other functions consistent with OAR, and then reference the one that I just gave you.
Definitely when agency with choice and other, concepts are coming through the pipeline.
Are we able to, if it's asking too much, just tell me, are we able to link this in the chat?
Oh, link to the, let's see.
The OAR, just so that members can click and read if they want?
Would that be public record also?
It's
Yeah, that's fine.
OARs, yeah.
Okay, good.
Are you talking about the number you just read off?
Yeah.
I just Googled it and it came right
Oh,
up.
good. What did I say? 420, 311, right?
411.
Yeah.
411. There you go.
0030.
003, and then you have to scroll down to a number 11. Does it just say advisory committee?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, so yeah.
I recognize I don't have that in front of me, so that's fine. But I put it in my notes for next time or whatever it may be. Alright,
Okay, so
TD Council will perform.
we'll change the OAR up there. Are we able to make edits while we're sitting here, or just?
I can't in this,
Oh,
no.
okay, in the format.
I'm not really sure why it
Okay,
was
so
having this
I'll
issue
just
earlier.
we'll make notes.
Are you, so is somebody else doing the editing, or do you want me to make the edits?
I think,
I am terrible person.
I'm-
I can-
not yet.
I can make some edits in here and send you with the notes if you want me to do that.
Okay, I think that would be wise.
I
Let's
know
see here.
that format with the red and stuff last time was really cool. I had no idea how to do that.
Okay, oh, we're still.
There's no way to have this document in a Google Doc, is there?
I think we talked about that before. I can't remember what the.
Yeah.
We don't,
So
the
did-
county stuff we don't use Google. We can use it if somebody can get it functional, but
It's very
we've
difficult.
had, we have challenges with using Google.
So, can you say the challenges out loud or in ways that other people?
Even
experience
just
it?
opening them, period.
No.
As a
It's a formatting thing.
challenge on county, because we don't use any of the Google
Exactly.
platforms.
Exactly. Yeah, we did have a conversation about that.
Yeah.
I'm not denying it, I'm just knowing that in government work, there's a different process. And I may not know it all the way, but I do know there's issues. But there's a way to accommodate, like a PDF file.
Okay, are we comfortable moving?
Yeah.
So does
You're gonna
everybody?
give me just a second if you want me to take some notes. Sorry, 1 second.
So we may or may not put a lot in, I do know how important it is we save the self-advocate within bylaws conversations
Okay.
in certain areas.
So are we on G?
Participation.
F.
F.
We have to approve F. Did anybody have any objections to F?
As long as it's wide enough, I'm happy. It's important definitely as the county changes and the different service model changes. That's what I would like in the notes as I move forward. I'm okay with it, I understand it, but I do worry about the future county reach on that.
So then, I'll read G. G. So G, develop an annual plan for the DD Council based on the above criteria and use this plan to guide meetings and discussions. We were kind of on that track to doing that. Everybody okay with that? Yes, okay.
Any conversation on how that plan should look like?
Just says based on the above criteria.
Should we do it as needed, or everyone insert it to the chair? All for one for all, or how should we insert that plan? And how can we make the chair position easier than just try to think of things and take input?
I think if the chair and co-chair help develop an annual plan and everybody decides on it, that can kind of guide every meeting, kind of like what you guys did recently with the annual plan.
But is that in the bylaws where the chair and co-chair and whoever's on the executive team can make that decision before we give it to our members?
Can members have input of what could go on that plan? Like if you say you're gonna have your planning meeting and we can provide some input of what we'd like to see on an agenda, is that?
That's where I'm going, Chris.
Yeah,
In some ways,
that's
and
what I
I'm
thought.
hoping that we could do it like 2 weeks before the planning meeting with the chair.
Mm-hmm.
And, put the, not guideline, and not, strict rules, but some points of how to maneuver that portion of the conversation. Because it was
Yeah.
hard to get the annual plan going when so many topics come our way in ways of different other meeting spaces. So, it was something that made it different. I can't think of a topic right now, the hot topic right now, but I wanted to navigate that conversation with the annual plan, kind of had to go in the background because we didn't have the bylaws and we didn't have a strategic way to get through outside of our best friends, whatever it may be. So I do think maybe putting it 2 weeks before, the planning meeting might be something to try to motion for a vote.
For the annual
For
plan?
the annual, yeah, when people, because when you and I are talking, usually we need to know what the annual plan is, if I'm correct. And so for that, I would like to try to point out, we will try to communicate that the annual plan is coming out. Please give some ideas, because right now we have 6 months that we do not have right now. And, I'm not trying to say to make the bylaws exactly how and who gets the annual plan section. Personally, I would love a self-advocate thing once a year in the annual plan. But because of my members, as chair, I had to do what, the conversation direction was and the environment was.
Do you want to have something in there, like a second sentence that says, annual planning will happen in the month of so-and-so, members will provide input by...
It could be the month of, say, May through September. But I do think whoever the chair is should call out, what month they're gonna do it. And then you have up to 2 weeks of the planning meeting to put your ideas and your voice in with the annual plan.
I feel like if we're gonna,
If I'm going too deep, I apologize to the members here, but I do think it's important in what we went through the last 2 or 3 years and how we navigate that conversation. Because it's important to follow our members.
I feel if we put a time on it, then it should be in the bylaws and consistent all the time.
Okay.
So that a chair can't just necessarily like, okay, we're gonna do it this year and this month. So if we did do an edit, May is when there's a new voting anyway.
Yep.
And so it would be kind of consistent where you just take care of business in the same month. So it might be, you might call for the items in May while everyone's voting and thinking and implement in June or something. I don't know.
I can second that.
I mean, just roughly, if we want to put a time, which may actually be beneficial because everybody will know it's coming up. But I wouldn't necessarily say
Should we
put
do
a
it in
month
May?
on ideas. I would just say we will develop the annual plan during this month every year, kind of a loose thing. John?
Should we make it May or should we do it in August or June, after the 2-month break, so people can think about it?
I'm open to anything.
I would definitely second the May, but there's floor discussions and other considerations.
Yeah, I think May works or April, so that we're just done. I just think if we give it 2 months, then we've got 2 months we haven't done anything. I would rather just let us know in April. We're going to be bringing this up in May.
Totally.
Get your stuff in by May, and when we vote and we have our membership
Totally.
and we know what we're doing, then it's all said and done.
Absolutely.
And if there are subcommittees, which I hope there will be, that can work, in the summer months and get something together, then we already know what it is. We already know what we're working on.
Where would you like to put that subcommittee idea? Would it be here, Ann, or would it be later? Because I too have a subcommittee addition also.
John, it comes up later, it talks about.
Awesome,
subcommittees.
that's all I'm asking, guys, I apologize.
And that's a
Got
good
it.
idea, because I like that, actually. Subcommittees can work during the
Yeah.
off
So
months.
in April is a call for meeting agendas or whatever you want to call that, annual plan input, and voting in May. And then it's just done, then we have it. And the people who are going to, become the next administrators or, the next chairman or co-chairman or whatever it is, already know what the plan is, and then we're voting on that too.
Yes.
Who's best to help us make this plan a reality?
Yes.
So was this our conversation for a vote, or should we first and second that and make that an official change?
I move that we make that an official change.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just
I second, yep.
Yep. And we had a conversation again, and I'm hearing we do it with May with the election and thing. Could there be any addition on 2 weeks or before the planning meeting or whatnot, such as to give the chairs, time to, gather that information and give it to the planning committee? Or should I stand down on that? I'm okay.
Okay,
But
so this is
Yeah,
the,
I think in April, we're going to call for it. And so people will either send it sometime in April or before the May meeting. So everybody will know sort of what the themes are that people are interested in, I think.
there's no argument. I'm just trying to make sure it's easiest on both sides of the table, the chair and the planning committee, that's all.
so I said that the annual plan will be developed in May for implementation starting in June. The April meeting will call for the following year's agenda items. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
Is that clear enough?
Yes.
Maybe, it's clear enough. I was thinking maybe to direct the chair for a 6-month plan, just in case if there's not a year plan.
It calls for a year, an annual.
And annual plan is a year plan.
All right. And could be changed as
As needed, I'm
As
sure.
needed?
Or added to, I'm sure,
Yeah.
if something urgent arrives, but it should be an annual plan.
okay, all right.
I think if we run out of things, then we can add some more.
Yeah.
We're good at it. I just want to make sure.
I will say, one of the pitfalls of the advisory council is not, for the first couple of years, is not having had an annual plan in place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been hard to know where the subject to navigate. So, yeah, okay.
Okay.
We're on H.
Yes. So 2016 language, to participate in site reviews when feasible and to make recommendations for improvements.
What are site reviews in the language of this?
I have no idea what sites we're looking
We
at.
we don't have site, I mean, if we're talking about the county and the program you're advising, we don't have site reviews. So,
You do.
So we
have
can delete that.
we have the,
Audits.
yes, everything we have is in conjunction with the same audit stuff indicated up above in
Right.
this. Yeah,
So I almost
Quality
wonder if
assurance
that's.
And that's
what
every-
meant.
the quality assurance
Yeah.
reviews, yeah.
So this part E would be the same thing as H, because our
Yeah.
quality assurance reviews include a site review if they come to our site.
So we
So
can
can
just
we delete
take,
that?
yeah, I would say take it out,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Am I reading site reviews as department site review, or am I reading it as a program site review? I'm not disagreeing taking out guys, I just wanted to make sure.
Well, I'm not sure because the original language was developed so long ago. I'm sure it looked very different.
Yeah.
And
what I-
I'm sure when we were audited, they came on site and did site. Now it's, everything is done remotely. Nobody's here on site. And
So we're talking about reviewers,
Yeah.
not,
Exactly.
because I'm thinking, what I see in
Yeah.
it, in my ignorance, in my beginning, advocacy,
Yeah.
5 years kind of thing, outside of, whatever years I take services, is I can see it with the foster homes.
Yeah.
And
Now,
that would be
site
part of
reviews
those
might
reviews.
occur with licensing for an individual person or a service element,
on.
but not.
So
Yeah.
we agreed to stop.
Yeah.
So striking through this
Yeah.
one.
But do we need to second verse all these things, or should we just review it and then
Do it at the end.
approve
I
at the
think,
end?
yeah, I think we can kind of casually approve things, and then when I give you the final edits or whatever, then you can draft something and send it to everybody.
And I think we had on the agenda that we would do that now and then technically vote in May.
Yeah.
Okay.
At our May meeting
Okay.
to approve it. Okay. Article 3, membership. The DD Council will consist of a minimum of 7 and a maximum of 18 members appointed by Clackamas County Board of Commissioners. Appointees must be residents of, do business in, or have one or more family members receiving services in Clackamas County, as required in OAR 411-320-003011. The council membership should have a balanced representation based on geography, age, gender, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, professional and consumer interests, and expertise. Membership must include a minimum of 5 families and or persons with, I'm just say IDD, or 50%, whichever is greater. A minimum of 2 providers, maximum 3. A minimum of 1 advocate, maximum 3. Do we need to, oh, that's so funny, I had those same notes on my paper, sorry. Do we need to define advocate, and if so, what would it be? That is, sorry, that weirded me out for a minute. I was like, whoa, this is not my, persons who receive DD services. And then it keeps going. No, that is it. Okay. Anybody, I have comments, but does anybody have any questions or comments to this section? No.
I do with it. I don't know if I'm trying to stand down to it.
Okay. So my input, here we go, what I would love to see is, the advocate part. So the definition of advocate is different than self-advocate. So I think we need to pick that, what we're going to use, because, so on here, just a minute, bear with me. So self-advocacy, the definition is the ability to speak up for oneself and one's interests. And advocate, just advocate without the self, is to publicly support or argue for a cause, policy, plan, etc. So if by advocate we're meaning self-advocate, then we're also bumping up into the first part,
Right.
where it's a minimum of 5 families and or persons.
Right.
So your ratio is a little bit different, whereas if it's just advocate, that is completely separate. So I think we need to really identify what that means.
I will say with what you're saying in the OAR, it said membership must include advocates for individuals as well as individuals and the individuals' families. So it does kind of outline that advocates are separate than individuals themselves,
Okay.
which is probably why in the original bylaws it has 1 advocate.
Okay.
So here we've already edited it to a minimum of 1, maximum of 3, because in the original one I think we're assuming that the advocate is not also receiving any services.
Okay. Good. That's
I don't know
how
if that's
feel
helpful
like
or
it
not.
should be. No, that's helpful. That's defining it to advocate, not self-advocate.
Yeah.
So, and then,
Personally, I do think it is important to have 3 self-advocate positions within another metric in ways of different service levels being provided.
But I think it has, and to your point,
We've already
a
heard-
minimum of 5 or,
Yes, but we've already heard one of
50%.
our members already be confused of what position that they were in. And so because of that, in a way that the state and other provider types have pointed out throughout, maybe not Clackamas County, and that's why you're here, but, that's why I think it might put the self-advocate, there's so many titles that we can go through. So, but I do think it is important to either have a subcommittee for self-advocates in the ways of the time off, summertime or whatever it may be, or whatever, but it would be important to clarify what is a self-advocate for Clackamas County. So I'll just stand down there, but what I am going to point out, I do think term limits are important, because I could be the self-advocate, and then provider types are changing. You're going to have someone that's going to go for 6 years in one position, 6 years for another, and 6 years on another, and that's not fair for those who are self-advocates.
It states
That one's in the
bylaws.
next,
Yeah, you can't.
in the next term of office thing.
But that portion, let me see if I got one more. Yeah, I already pointed that out. All right, and yeah.
So then my only other recommendation would be to increase the provider piece to 3, maximum of 5. Only because if you're going on percentages and equity in the way it's created, we have had not enough providers kind of weighing in and representing. And I feel like also things have changed so the families that are 50% or greater is great, but there's also a lot of family members that are now paid providers also for their family members, which might change things a little bit in, I guess, in the way individuals vote, or I don't know. I roll with me on the thought process. So I thought, well, there's a big difference between families and individuals and then like paid providers in the community. And so just making sure that we have the good ratios on there. That was basically my thought on that. So I wanted to kind of throw that out there and see what the council thought.
I also want to add in too, when we're saying these minimums, remember that that's more people that are in this group. So if we're saying minimum of 5, we're now going to be at 15, however many. I mean, I don't know so just a thought is just to consider.
We do need to define the provider type in the future, because there will be people that will think paid support, but they are not a third-party provider like yourself. And that's something that is very crucial within that conversation. While history may or may not repeat itself if we do not have those type of representation.
So I guess
We could say unrelated provider.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, minimum of 2 non-related providers, maximum of 3.
Yeah. Just
So then
something
you have
to
people who are
separate
specifically providing a service versus someone who is dealing with a in-home or close-by family member.
And would you say there's more than 10 members of the council to put it at a maximum of 4?
Well, that's the other thing. I know, like right now we have, was there 9 of us? So if you're going on a full council of 18 members, if you bumped the ratio, you'd end up having like 10 family members at the top. This is just at the top. 10 family or individuals, 5 providers, and 3 advocates makes up 18 members.
To your point, John, do you want, so when we say on here a minimum of 5 families and or persons with IDD, do you want to leave that and then add an additional self-advocate?
I would love to have 2 others in 2 different service levels, because it is unfair, in many ways, though parents and families would just totally go on one service level or another, but, in ways of their representation. But I do think it is fair that we give opportunities to people with disabilities. I'm not a fan of the self-advocate name. But I understand legal language and law, so please get me on that. But so yes, I would love to have 2 different other people in that. And I also would love to even outside of my provider type issue, that it's fair or not fair, but if I did have a 6-year term as a self-advocate, and then I wanted to take a family or persons with intellectual disability spot, I do think I should take 2 years off all the way, because I've already had a 6-year career in my opinions and who's doing it. And programs change and biannually. And so I do think it's important to put those provisions within all of us in ways that how we navigate how we navigate, you know, how we fulfill the positions and and distinguish our new roles.
Right.
It says in the next section, John, members may request reappointment but are limited to serving no more than 2 consecutive terms.
But that doesn't mean they can go to another provider or another language. That's the thing that's bothering. As a self-advocate,
understand, yeah.
I think it's only fair that a member, you know, knows their role, knows, you know, where they are, and then, like the confusion that happened last week with our other member, it is a different role, and they should fulfill what they can, and it should be allowed to after 2 years.
Why don't we wait until?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But I will say I would love to put two self-advocates in different service levels.
So my question is when they're talking about the minimum of 5 families and or persons with intellectual disabilities, is a person on the board with an intellectual disability or disabilities, is that by definition a self-advocate? If you've got somebody who's, so then do we get all kinds of confused there? That's I'm just curious.
We had the one member last month,
Right.
whatnot, have that confusion.
Okay.
And I think it is important to have 2 self-advocates
Okay.
in ways to do that, but I also know that we can take advantage of that and go to the 50 family, you know, member thing.
Sure.
In ways I do think a year or 2 off and throughout the whole system can still make them feel included if they, you know, quit the council or do
Yes.
things. But they can still fulfill those needs in ways of self-advocacy. You know, I took services much later in my life.
Sure.
So for me, I can say self-advocate for disability services. You know, and that's a whole different role of when I see children, you know, in advocating than it is when I'm advocating as a self-advocate throughout the county.
Right. I think defining the classes of who's on the council
Yeah.
and then talking about term limits, because I think term limits can be handled pretty simply. You read no more than 2 consecutive terms. If we add regardless of role
Yes,
Yeah.
to the
exactly.
end of that,
Yeah.
then people are on for 4 years
Can we write
period
that
and
down?
have to take a break.
I would
I'll
definitely
make
second
a
that.
I'll make a note,
Yeah.
but let's
let's do
yeah.
this one and then get down.
But I do want to put back that they do have a skill set
Sure,
in other
absolutely.
things.
Yeah.
I want them to be using that,
Yeah.
but I also think that break is important.
Mm-hmm.
But on self-advocate, I would love to have 2. One of my members wanted to talk about self-advocates. Do they still want to talk about self-advocates here, or would they like to just move on in ways that a form of conversation? Because it is important to put in, and maybe, like I said, maybe it's a subgroup conversation or committee conversation. I hear no input unless there's, let's move on then. But we did get the language in, right? Or at least the thought into the system.
about the terms.
About whatever we just had a
The term
conversation.
limits,
Yeah.
that's coming up.
Well, not the term limits, but are we
So-
gonna,
so I'm-
do we add the provider types? And do we add maybe some language on self-advocacy?
So my question, because I will tell you, in recruiting for these for a couple of years now,
Yeah.
I do think that there does tend to be some confusion when you add in families and or persons with IDD. I wonder if separating the 2, so maybe we have a maximum of this many families, and then this many either self-advocates or persons with.
Sure.
So I think grouping those 2 together, and that way the person or advocate can identify as whatever one of those they want, but at least it's separate, if that makes sense.
Under the same.
I like that
I
idea.
like that too.
And is that under the same 50%, or is that?
I
gonna be
don't,
in
so
there?
that's up to you guys. I do think that'll help weight it differently if we really want to incorporate
Yeah.
versus, the voices of self-advocates and those that experience IDD.
And I do think provider type, knowing what I've been through from other advocacy points, it's important to have different board of directors or different other types in ways of what your role is or others.
Well, and Bruce, I like what he said when he said non-related
Mhm.
providers.
I did get that in there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that.
So do we want to have like a minimum or maximum of families, and then a minimum or maximum of persons with or self-advocates? And what are those numbers or percent or?
And that's where we get into like
I'm
percentages.
willing to push, but I do think personally, self-advocate wise or whatever you want to call it, family, there should be a setting out for 18 and younger, and 20 or transition and above. Just like your provider type, theory. But I also understand we're not at that point, maybe for the culture to understand that quite yet. And I wish, I understand where we are, but I would love to see a 2 to 2, like 25%, because it is important for children. But I don't know.
So you're saying like under the minimum of 5 families, you're saying like, so
Yeah.
25% of that would be with people under the age of 18 and 25% would be of families with people over the age of 18.
And of course, if there's a 17-year-old that, hits for 6 years,
Oh, yeah.
I do understand that portion of it, but I do want to think, like I am, like I said, the 2 levels of service care with self-advocates, that's my personal belief in how we move Clackamas County forward with the voices within the council.
Can I ask a question on that? I mean, I like that idea of the over and under, just because they're different needs, but when you have applicants for the council, do you have enough people that apply that are that would fit those categories?
No.
Does,
And that's why I'm putting when we have a council over 10 to 15 people, in ways
Yeah.
of those considerations to be considered. And then at least it'll be on paper, when new members come in, they can see that, and then if they want to, it's their council. That's where I'm coming from on that percentage cap. And I might be wrong, but I do think it's really good to have a various selection.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I agree, but I think if it's hard to get people to volunteer for the council, the more restrictions we put on it, the harder it would be to get somebody. I mean, I just know from a mom. I mean, my daughter's 21, but when she was younger, I mean, you just don't have time. You can't think.
What
So-
happens if the person transitions from their kid has a birthday?
Yeah, Colleen, that's why I put
Does
in.
that bump us in a different, like my kid turned 18 last year,
No,
so
I just told you.
I might have
just
gotten
said-
kicked off or something.
No, Colleen, no.
Yeah.
That's not, I said that if, of course, if there was a young teenager that was 16 years old, a 6-year term, they should be still considered on the council. That's why I put that language in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is just my opinion. I wouldn't put the language in there. I think as council members or whoever that we're trying to recruit,
Yeah.
we could recruit that way.
Right.
But I think if it's in the
Understand down because of where
bylaws,
we are. But I do think for the county and notes, it's important to have a variety of voices throughout as we continue the department's objective of human services and ODHS and whatever service model is
Yeah.
within Clackamas County. Thank you.
well, I mean, I agree with that. I just think if we put it in a bylaw, then it's very stringent.
Yeah.
Right.
I
so-
think.
Sorry,
Yeah. No, please.
I have a habit
Go
of
ahead.
jumping in. If
No.
at the end of the first, a minimum of 5 families, what if you put, when possible, there will be an equal percentage of families with minors, families with adults, and self-advocates?
Yeah.
But you put when possible at the beginning, so you're dealing with
I'm
who
willing.
you have to recruit from. You're always trying to, but recognizing who you have to recruit.
Do we still have your director
I
on
mean,
the call?
I think that if we get to, I mean, this again, if we get to, it's like saying the different ethnicities. We don't say, well, we need to have 4 African Americans, 2 Pacific Islanders, 5 white people.
No.
I think the more stringent we,
No, that's
you know,
not what I'm saying. I
No,
will-
I'm just saying, I think we could leave it, and then we as a council can recruit people
Yeah.
that fit those categories and differences of opinions, but not actually stick it into
Sure.
the bylaws as stringently as that.
I apologize
That's just
for
my
calling out
opinion.
the director, and I should not have done that because of that, but I just want to make sure when they read it, like the outreach portion that the last director met with, that we can go out to the community and give out output and stuff like that. That means a lot within the language of what we're having the conversation today, so thank you very much for getting through that. I hope we add some more provider types. I've said my portion on the self-advocacy portion.
I will say to add to Chris's point, in recruitment, we have, even though we haven't lined that out specifically as far as ages of parents, we've absolutely taken that into consideration when we've added new members on, depending on who we have in the current council.
Sure.
Yep.
So we are, and it does say in the bylaws that we should have a balanced representation. So
Yeah.
so even if it's not explicitly outlined there, it does say
Yeah, up above in that paragraph, it does say that.
All right. As a fruit tree, I hope I gave enough fruit seeds.
I don't feel like the provider type is necessarily balanced. If it were a full council, 3 to 18.
So we have, where are we?
We've struggled the last
Thanks
couple
for your
years to
effort, even if we
have
agree or disagree.
provider voice on the council.
Mm-hmm.
So if we had a full council of 18 members, we could only have 3 providers, and I don't think that would balance. That was my concern. I mean, if the council wants to
Should we say a maximum
go
of
over it,
however many percent?
I think just something to have it be a little bit more balanced out, if that's what we're saying.
Well, what's the percentage of the members that we have now?
Well, I mean, I've been the only provider type for a
Out
while.
of 10, so
but
about-
we had 2 to begin with.
So do you want 15%? 20%?
But didn't you say like 3 and 5?
Yeah, I had said
Minimum
3.
of
I
3?
This is
well, I
2
had
to
said,
3.
I had said, shoot, where are my notes?
So what if
Yeah,
we do?
3, max 5, that's either 17% to 27% would be 5 people of the
Yeah.
total percentage of the council.
What if we did
And that
that?
would be the non-related
not
providers,
related.
right?
Yeah,
Okay. So we got
I
through
like
some
that.
of this.
but that is to just throw out there for the council to decide.
I think it's important to have this conversation. I appreciate it. I don't think we're gonna get through all of it,
You don't
Well,
think?
I mean,
but I do think it's very healthy for the public and others to see what we're going through with this. I'm hoping not to delay, but maybe to June and have one more of these, as you may or may not become the chair.
yeah. What do we want to, well, maybe we can attempt to get through at least more.
Well, we have 3 more minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7.
We have 7 more minutes,
Oh,
so we,
Okay.
But do we have any public comment?
Maybe we should ask that first.
I hear no
I like
public.
them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like the minimum of 3, maximum of 5 on the non-related providers.
okay.
What do you guys think about? Because we talked about outlining the individual and self-advocate. What do you think about doing that same minimum of 3, maximum of 5 for families? So minimum of 3, maximum of 5 for families, minimum of 3, maximum of 5 for providers, and then however many self-advocates and individuals.
With lived in experience.
It'd be 8 then, because if we have
Is
a
that- do we need to do more
maximum of
math?
18. Yeah,
So minimum of, just minimum of, is it 2 and then no max on the self-advocate individual side? What am I missing?
I would still have the lived in, I do like the language that shows intellectual disabilities, it's a personal opinion, that shows them that they can be at the same amount. We've had so many people, but I also don't want to overstep the family groups in ways that their representation too, if there's too many people applying for those positions.
What if we just said advocate / self-advocate?
Okay.
yeah.
I mean,
But,
I thought we were gonna move that intellectual disabilities, persons with intellectual disabilities at the same line with the advocates.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, yeah.
On self-advocates, I would look
But that's
at
your
that.
guys'
it's
Yeah.
kind of unlimited.
Yeah.
It's
like
unlimited.
the providers is limited, the advocate, not self-advocate, is limited, but then self-advocate from families and individuals.
We just
is
need a-
kinda
we need a,
up to 18.
We need a minimum.
Yeah, I would say
But the
a
maximum is
minimum,
unlimited.
if it was me, if this is a council view, I would say a minimum of 2 non-related self-advocates.
I had a hard time
I know.
getting that too.
But, and
What did
or
you say that was, John? Minimum of what?
a minimum of, a maximum, I don't care, it could be max, I just would like to have 2 self-advocates with different service levels that are non-related throughout the council. Someone like myself, I'm not related to any of you guys, I don't know you guys, love with care. And I think it's important to show people, they can still apply once, one of the members, quit. The mother or father can go after my mom or father or whatever can apply, for this, after I'm done. But I do think that self-advocacy, there should be at least a number of 2, where you have 3 or 4.
I was gonna say 3.
I'm fine with that, but I also understand this is a group decision.
Yeah.
And I do like your language on trying to find that maximum, or whatever, minimum count.
I'm good with 3 for sure. I think the more representation, the better.
And I'm willing to even say 2 non-related, 1 related to a council member.
I think that would maybe even narrow it down.
We have, I will say, we have a hard time getting
No,
individuals.
all right.
self-advocates.
I just want to point out
So
the pattern. I did that.
I don't have a max on it.
Oh, no, okay.
Unless, do you guys want to have, so in my notes I had, minimum of 3, maximum of 5 families, minimum of 3 self-advocates or people with IDD, and I'll spell it out just for my notes.
Okay.
And then a minimum of 2, maximum of 3 unrelated providers, or maximum of 5.
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
3 and 5.
Okay, 3. Oh yeah, I do have that, sorry. I
So
have that in
that's-
the additional note.
I would say for self-advocates should be 1 unrelated.
So we need to change our
Honestly, if
minimum,
we get
the council, the minimums would be
I'll explain
9.
later why.
It'd be
I
9,
get
is that
why.
what you said, Chris?
I do.
Yeah, because if you have a minimum of each of those categories of 3, then that's gonna be 9 minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys let me know where to adjust.
I think do what you need to do with the process that's happening. I've said what I need to say on public record.
Dang, I was hoping to get through them.
No.
Almost.
Like I said, with the self-advocate that we worked on it for 5 hours on pre-existing things, and it maybe a half hour was explaining it. But the thing was, he did such a good job in trying to get through it. So anyhow, it takes time. And I appreciate the council's patience as I hope we hit other topics.
So I just have a quick question. So we're gonna change the council will consist of 9, minimum of 9 members, and then a maximum of 18, which would make the
Good question.
persons with IDD or self-advocates be a maximum of 8.
It says 50%, whichever is greater,
Yeah,
which
Okay.
would be 9.
Okay.
Thank you.
technically.
I'm not trying to oversaturate. That's not my goal.
Well, yeah, we just want it to.
I just don't want
be
history to repeat
balanced.
itself in some ways.
So then, if, we've got 2 more minutes. I mean, would we be able to at least get through the terms? Everybody comfortable moving on to try to get like the next section in the next 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You
So.
you
for
want to
this-
call for an extra 15 minutes? I don't want to.
No.
All right.
So for the sake of time, does anybody need me to read it, or should we just ask for like any objections or information? Does anybody have any changes that they would want to the term of office piece? No, so we're.
I want to make sure when someone does quit, or may have a life situation, to bring them back on if they need to, but also understand that they have been in that term already for a certain amount of years.
So it does say that,
Thank you. All right, concern?
where is it?
Members
My
may
glasses on, right here.
request reappointment and are limited to serving no more than 2 consecutive terms.
So do you want to amend it to say under the same title or whatever?
Yeah,
whatever?
I do have
Okay.
that in my notes.
So we
here.
are amending it to saying under the same, like,
Well-
title.
I said
or
membership type
Membership
or
type,
something.
yeah.
I would say Clackamas County Advisory. But yeah.
No, for the consecutive terms, for your concern of the 6-year thing, so,
I can see, like I said, me dropping out and then taking another title.
okay. So then.
No way.
So if
I
we
would not
go-
do that for now, but
If we go down really quickly to the voting section, the vote will be decided, it's talking about how we vote. Has everybody had a chance to read that? And is there any objections to that section?
I do have a concern for
You do?
self-advocates. We need accommodations for self-advocates, and knowing what OAL is and all that stuff that we just went through, but I was struggling to at least be reviewed in between email vote in particular. And that one I can't win on. I'm willing to, but that is a concern I do worry about in the voting in
To make
future
sure you have all
members.
the information
Not just the information, but they understand.
and the
what-
understanding of the information that you're voting on.
Not just understand, but have, I would say Amy was invalid, very valid, sorry if I said it wrong, contribution with that foster home letter. All it was all service levels and some other language, though it may not be for the council. That service there told me my voice. And I think that's important as we do voting, and not delay voting, but at least try to get the services in between our members, where sometimes we can't chat with each other outside the hallways, to say services to the chair and co-chair. And so that is something that I don't know how to language it, but I do want to make sure for future people, it's not about me, I'm fine, but for future people with disabilities, they have the right for those accommodations.
So making sure you have like a Clackamas County staff member who can help make sure that the information is properly relayed.
Absolutely, or at least communicated as we move forward a policy point.
Yeah.
Can I ask the council for just like an idea, because I really don't want to, if at all possible, delay voting on this before we break. Would it be helpful if I created a group email for each article? And I know that's a lot of emails, but so if we put an email for article, the voting, and you can just say weigh in on it, or no change, great. And then I'll send the next one for officers, weigh in on it, no change, great. And we'll just proceed that way through the last few sections of the bylaws. And then we can all kind of have that conversation this month. And then when we get to the meeting, we can just iron it out. And even maybe at the executive session, we can say, hey, okay, this is what everybody weighed in on. Let's talk about these couple of items that, somebody wanted to change, and then boom, bam, done in June. Does that sound reasonable or too much?
I like that idea.
I like the idea. I would definitely need, some help and try to decipher that.
That's why I thought like one email for one article so that it didn't get overwhelming.
But I also have follow-up questions, like sometimes history, sometimes, other things where I just need to be reviewed on. Like, I can't really name an example right now, but there is a lot of value on that helps me point my decision on certain topic points. So I'm gonna say yes, but I also know the hindrance, like today, getting the bylaws where a member may say, we should get it 24 hours beforehand, but then we did get it, but then sometimes we confuse things. So it would be helpful to have at least a couple minutes on my side. We need to head out, but time of 6:03, we already did public comment. Thank you very much for your expertise and time. Appreciate it. Do we have a motion?
Thanks, everybody.
Do we have a motion to head on out and get to the next thing that we need to do today?
Yes, I motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All right. And I'm sure we'll have fun. I hope you guys have a good week and a good month. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks,
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Thanks,
Thanks, everybody.
Okay. So we got through term of office.
I think, I made most of my points. The subcommittee's the last one on my list, for self-advocates.
Okay, and that's,
And I guess I did have one more question. Where would the executive committee be on the bylaw? Did we already go through
no,
that?
it's
Get
coming
there,
up
yeah.
under
Officers.
officers.
That's all I'm asking. I'm just trying to.
I might just want to take the next meeting, and then if it goes beyond that, start having, honestly, a subcommittee that says we're working on Article 4, 5, and 6.
You could also vote to adopt it after the next one, and it says we can make changes at any time by 2/3 majority vote to the bylaws, so we might want to get something
Thank you again.
going, and then,
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
All right.
yeah.
I wish Kim was here to sign this. Get you guys an
The
autograph.
autograph,
Like I said, little
it will
step.
be worth nothing, but
I know it's not worth
worth.
Well, how long county work takes, I know I did pretty good on
Yeah.
these things. Not me. But
Yeah, get Amy's autograph. She's the
no,
one who makes it
we're
all
good,
happen.
we're good, we're good. I'm just happy some things are getting
Oh
done.
my goodness.
It's been a
I just
long
do what
day.
John tells me to do.
Anyhow.
Oh, goodness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was,
Oh, no.
Sarah, I'm gonna send these to you. You okay?
yeah,
Yeah, no.
something was missed today, which is gonna require a lot of time tomorrow.
I'm gonna send you some edits.
You gonna send me what?
Some edits
Yeah,
tomorrow. I'm not sending them to you tonight.
yeah.
I made a little bit of notes too.
Yeah.
And I,
And though I may or may not should talk to the council or whatever, I will go to Alice and Enrique on employment for stuff. And the, maybe some of the support staff that I needed, maybe I'll share. The reason why is because Gabrielle Gadon is going that direction when she's trying to do her meetings. And